Welcome in for another edition of On the Tee. I'm Anita Marks. We've had a 2-week hiatus getting ready for tonight's show. Why? It's another major. Unfortunately, it's the last major of the season. I feel the season has gone by way too quickly, way too fast. But without further ado, let's bring in my partners in crime. And of course, one is John Mascari, head pro at Alpine Country Club here in the New York, New Jersey area. What is up, John? I like the outfit. I like the digs. I like the hat. And of course, Christina Thompson, owner, CEO extraordinaire of Golf for Her. All right, guys, we are back in action. It's been 2 weeks. Did you miss me? Did you miss me?
I missed you both.
I certainly missed you, Anita.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, Jonathan. We've got a great
Sir John.
Sir John
for the
Sir John. We've got a great show lined up for you. Trey Wingo is going to make an appearance on the show. We're always thrilled whenever there's a major. Trey's like, yeah, why not? Yeah, it's great. So we're excited to have Trey and David Bearman, who oversees a lot of our gambling content, pretty much all of it, on ESPN and our website, is going to join us as well. So we'll have both of them in about 20 minutes, I believe. They're both going to pop on, and we'll get their picks and their plays and some of hear from them what they think some of the big storylines is going to be as we get ready again for the fourth. Can you guys, first and foremost, guys, don't you feel the season has flown by? Can you believe that we're already at the last major?
Yeah. Yeah. The summer, I mean, the fact that it's July 13th right now, we're in the middle of July. Golf season's flying by, but it's a fun one. I love that the season, the majors, the men's majors end with the Open. I just think it's just such a poetic way to end the season there. John,
are you surprised how quickly the season has gone by, or do you feel that it's
for different reasons. Last season we felt like the year was never going to end, and then this year it's flown through, and I'm trying not to smile and act giddy where I'm saying that we're getting closer to August, which means we're getting closer to September, which means we're getting closer to the fall. So we're almost in the home stretch. So you guys look at it differently than I do because I work in the golf business. I'm like, is it snowing yet?
Stop
My season never ends. My season never ends.
All right. As always, and of course, we've got our producer extraordinaire from PFN 365 and also one of the owners of PFN 365, Brett, who's producing the show on the opposite side of the glass. As always, post any questions or comments throughout the show on our message board, and Brett pops on at the end of the show, and we will answer as many as we can. So make sure that you do that. We always start the show with our show drink, our mixologist, Christina Thompson. What you got? This is, and again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, typically what Christina puts together a drink that correlates with the location of where the tour is that week. So Christina, what you got for us, babe?
I have one of my favorite summer drinks. This is the Summer English Pims. It's just a really nice refresh. It's such a classic English drink. To anyone who's traveled to England, and this is kind of like a drink that you'd get in one of those copper mugs, but I'm about to move and I have no more copper mugs. Everything's backing up. So all I have is a glass, but I think it looks pretty darn like the picture. It's just delicious. It's Pims, it's lemon juice. I put pink lemonade in it because I like to sweeten things up. So it's a great summer drink. You can kick back, I recommend this weekend watching the Open, make a whole entire pitcher of it and serve it that way over ice.
Make an entire pitcher and wake up on Monday morning.
Or not.
I love that you put the lemon wheels and the orange wheels as optional, by the way.
It's optional.
I was going to cut up some lemon and orange wheels, but now that they're optional, fuck it. I won't have to put them in.
You don't have to put them on. But it just won't look the same. It just won't look very authentic.
Yes.
I love it.
You know what looks authentic is a nice gin and tonic right here. So I might not make it to the Trey Wingo segment, so just tell him I said hi.
We'll send you regards.
All right, guys, as always, we look back before we look forward. The John Deere Classic, Lucas Glover, 19 under, shot a 64 on Sunday to win the damn thing. I liked Lucas Glover coming in. I had him finishing, if I remember correctly, either finishing the top 5 or top 10 on our ESPN.com preview. So I won there, which is great. And David Bearman, who's going to be joining us, was really high on Glover. In fact, was on our Sunday morning show on ESPN 98.7 ESPN and said that he liked Glover on Sunday. So let's take a look at the FedEx Cup standings. Were you able to get those, Brett? Here we go. And here's where we stand right now in the top 10. So Cantley back on top at 1, English at 2, Rahm at 3, DeChambeau at 4, Spieth coming in, then JT. Were we able to get the top 10, or did we just do that the first 6? Let me do this because I actually have. There we go. Okay. So Justin Thomas comes in at 6, and then we have Victor Hovland at 7, Schauffele at 8, Kokrak at 9, and Colin Morikawa at 10. So a very impressive top 10 when it comes to the FedEx Cup standings. So as we know, we're heading into the last major of the season, and it is at Royal St. George's. Let's talk about this course. Let's first start talking about this course and what the metrics and what you need to win here. And John, let's start with you. Out of curiosity, have you played this course before? What do you know about the course? Kind of clue us in on what these guys can expect the next Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, sure. I haven't played there, Anita, but I certainly know the course very well. They've played 14 Opens at Royal St. George's. It's right on the water, so everyone's going to talk about the weather, and I think that's going to play a big factor. It's obviously on the dunes, so it's right on the beach. It's links. This is true links golf. Okay, blind shots, super deep bunkers. Like there's John in the bunker on 4. But the weather and the thing with the weather there is it could flip like that. So it could be bad in the morning and good in the afternoon, and the wind could shift direction. So pay a lot of attention to the weather. The greens, the fairways, everything has a lot of undulation. So look for some creativity. It's not a relatively long golf course. It's just about 7,200 yards compared to some of the other major courses that are 7,800, 7,900. So look for players who are a bit more creative, who are good around the greens, and who can navigate the course in the way that it was set up to navigate versus trying to overpower it, especially if the winds pick up. So this is my favorite major, personally. I know you guys are big fans of the Masters. The Open is my favorite for that reason, where you're playing on the birthplace of golf. The golf courses are set up a certain way, and it's fun to watch today's bombers navigate them.
Christina, your thoughts on this course this week?
I've been watching a lot of the interviews, and I'm hearing all, these things that John is saying. Everyone's looking and talking about the players who are really going to be able to control their shots, those approach shots. Putting is obviously going to be a key, but that's how it always is in these major events, right? They're not set up to be easy courses. But I have to say, I played golf in Scotland 2 years ago, and I have to say, I absolutely love watching golf on link style courses. I watched the Scottish Open last weekend because I just enjoy that. I just enjoy that kind of golf. So I think we're really going to be in for a great treat this weekend with the Open. There's a lot of, I know we're going to dive into it, but I think there are a lot of players out there who have a really solid chance. And I think there's going to be some surprise performances by some of the players this week. So I'm excited. I hope it's a little windy. I love what Bubba Watson said. I don't know. Bubba, obviously, as many of you may know, that he's not playing because he was exposed to somebody with COVID. So he said, you know what? I'm going to be sitting back watching the Open from home. So I wouldn't mind it to be a little windy and challenging for the players. So I think we kind of all like to see that a little bit.
Christina, you just mentioned, the Scottish Open that was just that they just played this week. And of course, we saw the John Deere Classic, and it was pretty much split. There were a number of guys that were in the John Deere Classic, a few bigger names actually that went over early. So John, let's go back to you. Christina, I know when you were on my Sunday show, you said you were paying more attention to the Scottish than you were the John Deere Classic. John, let's start with you. How important do you think it is? Are you eyeing on guys that you think are going to win that did make the trip over there a week early? Are you putting more value and more weight on guys that played in the Scottish Open more so than the John Deere Classic?
Yeah, certainly. Not just for the fact of the course and the way to play the course. 6 out of the last 9 winners played in either the Irish or the Scottish Open of the Open Championship. So certainly I feel like a winner is going to come out of that field, maybe more than the John Deere, but maybe more this year just to get your kind of, I hate to say, your feet wet over there and kind of get everything situated and get your routine a week in advance, where now if you're coming over at the last second where you've got to do all this planning and the COVID and all that stuff. But I think having that extra week in country will benefit some players.
Christina?
I agree. I agree 100%. And that's actually why I was watching the Scottish, because I knew we were going to talk about the Open and our picks. And for me, I was doing a little scouting and doing research just to watch how the players were. And I agree. I think the advantage is the players who played in Scotland last weekend are going to have an advantage here. Just like you said, they're going to be acclimated to the weather, the time, and all of the restrictions. And they've had a time, a little bit more advantage of getting prepared for it. So, but they still have to play golf. So we'll see what happens, but I can't wait.
Some of the metrics that I've been researching this week when it comes to this course, you don't necessarily have to be long off the tee, but you want to be accurate. Therefore, right off the bat, I'm fading Bryson DeChambeau. Hold that for a second, because I'm curious if you guys are on the same page with me. Obviously, again, you want to pay attention to guys who play well in wind, play well on coastal courses. As you alluded to, John, putting really important, short game is important, strokes gained on approach, greens in regulation, proximity to the hole, 175 to 200 yards away. And also, obviously, as you said, here's John Mascari in a sand trap. You want guys who obviously do well in fairway bunkers, but you can't be too aggressive. You have to play smart here. And also, I'm looking at guys who hit the ball low, who have those shots that can hit the ball low and are kind of hit those stingers, those line drives, right, to kind of like counter the weather conditions and the wind that they're going to be facing. And obviously, guys who do well in links courses and in coastal line courses. So, with that being said, I'm going to throw out with you guys, to you guys, who I like, and we'll start with me, and then of course we'll make our way around. John, we'll go to you, then Christina. I'm picking Brooks Koepka to win this. Obviously he's back. His knee issues are in the rear view mirror. He's got 3 top 5s in his last 4 tournaments. He loves the major stage, 7th or better in 11 of his last 15 majors, which is really unbelievable to me. And I read this, it might have been on Golf Digest, that after he graduated from FSU, he went to Europe. He spent a lot of time in Europe, and he plays a lot better on links in coastal courses. So it just seems to me that Brooks Koepka kind of checks all the boxes. I know a lot of people are really high on Jon Rahm, and understandably so. His game has been so on point. He's first in strokes gained overall. As we know, he won the U.S. Open, so he's got that major, off his back, per se, in regard to the stress of not winning a major as of yet. And he played well. As you guys watched the Scottish Open, he played well at the Scottish Open. So I've got Jon Rahm finishing in the top 10. I love Louis O. As we talk about each and every time, I feel whenever we mention Louis O, he's like the Susan Lucci, right, of golf when it comes to majors. 2 second place finishes this season in majors, and overall 6 second place finishes in majors. He's just got to bring it together on Sunday, and his putter's got to do a better job for him. I'm hoping that happens. I've got him finishing in the top 20. McIntyre, I think, is a sneaky good play, tied for 6th in his last Open major, and he hasn't missed the weekend in 4 major starts. And also I've got Brandon Grace finishing in the top 40. His game is coming around. He tied for 7th at the U.S. Open. His last 24 rounds, he's top 10 in ball striking. And both McIntyre and Grace are 2 golfers that, like I said, have that kind of that line drive type of ball movement, ball flight, where they could just like cut through the wind and it could be really advantageous. Really quick, if you can, Brett, if you have my DFS lineup, I'd like to show that now. If you could pull that up. Not sure if it's ready or not. There we go. Okay. So I was surprised. Let me preface by saying I was surprised that I was able to get all of these guys under value, meaning like I was able to do it under the $40,000 allotment that we're given. And that's Koepka, Louis O, Fitzpatrick, who I think should have won the Scottish Open, but did not have a great Sunday, but his game is on point. Answer, who I just went through a lot of metrics. And if you do your research, you go on PGAtour.com and you look at all their stats, Answer checks all the boxes that I just shared with you, like driving accuracy, greens in regulation, strokes gained on approach, putting, scrambling. Answer checks all the boxes. He should be in it on Sunday. McIntyre, like I said, and Brandon Grace. So I'm really excited about my DFS lineup, and I was really shocked. It's not every week that I'm able to get all the guys that I really love under the value amount, and I was able to do it this week. John, let's go to you. Who are some of the guys that you're paying attention to that you're looking at heading into Thursday?
Yeah, I know it's probably not dramatic, but I'm really liking Jon Rahm coming into this tournament. He's the best player in the world. I never go chalk, but I think his game is suited for this. You remember he's won on that side of the pond before. So with the Dunhill and the Irish Open. One guy that I really like also is Paul Casey, who I don't think gets enough respect. The Englishman has been played. This is his 16th Open. He's ranked second in strokes gained tee to green over the past 24 rounds or 6 tournaments. Had a top 5 finish at Pebble, had a top 5 at the PGA. So I have him and Jon Rahm as 2 of my contenders. I like Louis as well. Victor Hovland, I have them both with top 5 finishes. Christian Bezuidenhout. I love saying that name. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. But I have him as a top 10 finish.
At least you try.
Right.
Yeah.
And even just be like, that guy. What's his name?
I know. I call him Chris Bez. I roll with Chris Bez. That's what I roll with.
Bez? Okay. All right. That's top 20, Jason Day, Corey Connors, also like Brendan Grace, as you mentioned before. And I'll just kind of go through my DFS lineup. I think Brett should have it, hopefully. But it's Chris Bez, as you mentioned, Paul Casey, Matt Fitzpatrick, Louis O, my man Scotty Scheffler, and Webb Simpson, who I can get the putter going, and that's real important here.
Christina, before we go to you, Trey Wingo is ready to join us. So let's put Christina's picks on hold for just a second. Let's shelf them. We'll come back. We'll get Christina's picks as well as her monkey knife fight picks, which are always winners. Let's bring in Trey Wingo.
First of all, can I just say you can't say monkey knife fight enough? Like you just you
Isn't
can't.
that awesome?
Like it's the greatest thing in the world. So I'm
awesome.
glad for any time you can say that. And Chris, thank you for letting me interrupt your picks.
Okay, time out. Where's the booze?
Well, we are in the process of moving. So this is the last stream you'll see from this setup. We sold the house. We are moving into an apartment for 6 months while our next house is built. So it'll be like we're back in college. In other words, kill me.
Trey, I'm in the same boat as you right now. So
we took advantage of the market, Chris.
Congratulations. It's a seller's market. So,
yeah.
So congratulations, Trey. With that being said, we've just spent the last 50 minutes talking about the players that we like heading into Thursday. Who do you like, Trey?
Well, here's the problem. This is, and by the way, is that a Mai Tai? What do we got there, Chris? Does that look delicious?
Thank you for asking. It is a English summer Pims.
Oh, Pims. Nice. Mm-hmm. Very, very much in the theme of the conversation with the Open Championship being played.
This is a gin and tonic, Trey, in case you didn't.
Also, G&T, very popular in the royal family. So very well done. Here's the problem, is that this isn't as much about the golfer, but the golf course. Right. Royal St. George is by far the weirdest, wackiest, quirkiest course in the British or the Open Rota. Way more even so than St. Andrews. If you go back and look at the last 3 champions, golfers of the year that have won at St. George, it was Darren Clarke, well past his prime, out of bleeping nowhere. It was Ben Curtis in 2003 who got in the clubhouse early and watched Thomas Bjorn implode on the par 3 16th, or I think he took 4 tries to get out of the bunker. And before that, it was Greg Norman who won the second of his 2 Open championships. And we all know Greg's record at majors, not so great. So honestly, if you're asking me, I think the Open Championship at this golf course is the hardest major to predict in any way, shape, or form because of how quirky the course is. There are so many bumps and humps and hollows in the fairways where you could hit what you believe to be a perfect shot, and the marshal will say, yeah, you're 70 yards over there in the rough. And you're like, how? So, you know, you can play really well and not have a chance at St. George, or you can sort of slap it around and find yourself within 1 stroke of the lead on Sunday. It is, to me, the most difficult venue to guess and judge as to who's going to win it in the entire, not only the Open Rota, but I think in all of major championship golf.
Interesting. Really quick, Trey, because more people want to join our party, and a gentleman that we both know extremely well, and that's David Bearman, who oversees
the Bearman.
There you go. Who oversees all our gambling content at ESPN. David, welcome. We're having a party tonight, guys.
Wow, this is
like
major
of the season.
And to think, before I came to this party, all I had was bath night with the kids. So this just went up a notch.
Bathtub gin is still a thing, David. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I mean, when my daughter starts singing, there's no better performance in the world than her singing in the bathtub. But happy to join you guys tonight. And I heard Trey, as I was coming in, he hit it right on the head. This golf course, you know, we got the pleasure of being there a decade ago in 2011. There's nothing like it. Like you said, you could hit a wonderful drive down the middle and have no idea where your ball is. So this is something that's as unpredictable as any event. And Trey hit on the people who have won here the last couple of times. And going even further, the Open in general, the average odds to win in the last 10 years is 64-1 of the odds. So if you're looking for somebody to win this event, that's where you need to look.
Interesting. Okay, so Trey, let's go back to you. With that being said, are you gonna wager any money on this tournament, considering that it's such a crapshoot?
Well, I will, but you have to pretend like it's money you're just totally willing to lose, right? I think anybody that places a wager on this event and is confident is what we call delusional. So I mean, you just have to sort of say, well, you know, I'll ride this horse. Like, for example, a guy like Spieth, who won in 2017. You know, he's a really good iron player. He's obviously a little crooked off the tee, and his putter is what saves him when he's playing really well. But again, you could hit really good iron shots and not know where your ball's going to end up. You know, there's only one par 5 on the back, and I think, David, you remember that Dustin Johnson was in contention in 2011. He pumped it out of bounds, you know. And so if you're going to go for it on this golf course, like a Koepka or a DeChambeau, you know, that's a real problem for you, because if you're hitting it really, really long, it could take a really, really wrong bounce. And it was 2 years ago, remember, after the 2019 Open at Royal Portrush, where Bryson DeChambeau sort of announced, I'm going to change who I am. He was 6th in the world then. He's 6th in the world now, but obviously he's the beef hammer. He's, you know, become a much bigger dude and is hitting the ball ridiculously long. But I'm not sure that's a huge advantage here. David, what do you think about that?
It's funny that you mentioned Jordan Spieth a minute ago, and that's actually who I like. And if we were on this show a month ago and I picked Jordan Spieth to miss the cut at the U.S. Open, and here I am liking him because of the way the course is set up. He can spray it a little bit, even though he's 188th on tour in accuracy. You can get away with this here if you're creative and you survive with your short game. And Jordan Spieth, he's in the top 10 in shots gained around the green, short game, putting. He has the intangibles. And you're right, a Bryson or a DJ who hits it as far as humanly possible, you don't know where it's going to land. But what you got to do is be able to hit the next shot. You got to be able to scramble. Correct. And that's where someone like Jordan Spieth, I think, has an advantage here. But you're absolutely right. My confidence level in Jordan Spieth winning this means I've had a couple of these before I made the pick. But of all the guys, I'm not going to take a favorite when the favorites don't win here. I'm going to take a guy who is as creative with his short game as there is, and that's Jordan. That being said, he continues spraying the ball everywhere. He may never find it. It may not matter what his short game is. But if it gets to the point where short game's going to win, I like a guy like Jordan. And you bring up Dustin Johnson from 10 years ago. You know, me and the Bear, Chris Felica, had Dustin Johnson top American. We were sitting pretty, even if he didn't beat Darren Clark. And then that 2-iron. See ya.
Bumps it out of bounds. Yeah, look, you're right. This is a scrambler's golf course. You're gonna like Seve Ballesteros would have loved playing this golf course, right? You want to talk about Tiger in his prime would have loved playing this golf course. They just didn't really go there when he was there outside of 2003. So this is a shot maker's course and finding a different way to get the ball into the hole. And I think that's something that's going to bode very well for whoever the champion is come Sunday afternoon.
But Trey, you're still not giving us who you think is going to win.
I can't tell you. I mean, I listen.
Okay, all right.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah, throw a dart at the board. I thought Garrett Higo. How about Garrett Higo? Garrett Higo has been on an unholy hot streak for a long time, even before he won at Congaree. He was winning on the European tour. He's got every shot in the bag. I think he had to hit one shot left-handed Sunday to win at Congaree at the RBC, if I'm not mistaken, because he was stymied up against a tree. Garrett Higo has every shot in the bag. So I'll throw out Garrett Higo as someone who could do pretty well. But again, it's so hard to predict because of this golf course. Like there's so many other factors that come into play at other major venues, and especially in the open rotation, that just don't come into play here because of the quirkiness of the course. I mean, David, Royal Cinque Port, which used to be an open championship golf course, is literally right next to the course. I mean, it's just a weird place. It's the only way I can describe it. It's very, very different.
And there are some open courses that are gettable. We've seen good scores at St. Andrews where Rory goes into the 60s and Louis wins it at double digits. You've seen some of these courses gettable because it's wide open. This is different. Your wide open doesn't necessarily help you if it bounces left and bounces right. And look at Brooks Koepka, who got his first look at it yesterday. He was on his press conference today saying, there are 4 or 5 blind shots. I had no idea where I was hitting the ball. And you're going to see that a lot. And somebody just texted me a picture of where the drop zone is on 18 if you go into the stands. And all it is a big patch of fescue. Enjoy hitting out of that.
Well, and we should point out the 18th hole, by the way, when they played there in 2011, I think was the hardest hole in the golf course. I think it played a third of stroke over par. So the other thing about this course, which is very interesting, is that you're going to have, unless you have a ridiculous lead, which I don't think happens at this golf course, you're going to have to earn it on the 18th hole.
You could have given me and Trey 100 different guesses of who was going to win a decade ago.
Correct.
And we wouldn't have picked Darren Clark.
No way.
He was at, I believe he was 150 to 1, and I think Ben Curtis was like 300 to 1. And, like you said, just kind of close your eyes.
Ben, I think, was playing in khakis and a Bushwood Country Club hat at that point, right? Like, nobody. And I think he finished, if David, I'm not mistaken, I think he finished 2 hours ahead of the final group. And he just was like, screw it. I got no pressure on me. Let's just go in and see if we can get this thing done.
And he tried his hardest to lose it, too.
Yes,
he kept bogeying and double bogeying holes. And, that's what happens. We've seen Van de Velde at Carnoustie. We've seen other people choke up leads. And this one's never going to be over until it's over. Because like you mentioned, 18 is as hard as it gets. It is a coin flip when it comes to this. And I sat there last night looking for an additional long shot. One of my long shots is Brandon Grace at 66 to 1, which I know Anita likes as well. And I was looking for another one. I wanted one more. I went through at least 25 names while I was watching the Home Run Derby, and I didn't like any of them. No, I couldn't find another guy because you just but at the end of the day, you have what you have, and you hope it works out for you.
Grace is a really interesting one. Real quickly, sorry, Anita, because he flights the ball so low. You know what I mean? Like that ball literally, like if you watch him when he tees off, especially like. That ball goes more than maybe 15 feet above ground, like he's playing for a lot of roll. And that's something that is interesting on this golf course because, it is not a ball you want to flight. It is a ball you want to sort of keep lower to the fairway. And I don't think anybody does that at a lower trajectory more consistently than Brandon Grace.
Really quick, you guys keep on talking about you guys are like romancing about the times that you both were over across the pond for opens. We actually have a photo. There we go. How about that?
Yeah, look at that. Oh my, that's at St. Andrews, right?
Yeah, it was St. Andrews. That was after it was all over later that night.
That's 2010, right? When Louis won.
Rick Riley.
Look how young you guys were. Oh my God.
Is that Sean McDonough there with us as well?
McDonough. Yeah, McDonough, me, you, and Rick Riley. Oh,
look, my hair had color back then. Crazy. What was going on? That was a long night and an early morning back flight. That was the night was good. The flight was terrible.
I played it the next morning, and I didn't know what my middle name was.
Bogey.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so Trey's like, you know what? He's not going to pick a winner, but there are some guys that, you know, you're looking like, you know, like ridiculous odds that you're going to be paying attention to that just might pull it off. David, you like Spieth, but you also like Brandon Grace as well, just to sum it up, right?
Yeah, I like Spieth and Grace and a couple other guys I'm playing. Louis O, you had to play Louis O. He's in the final pairing of every freaking major. And I also like Patrick Cantlay. The only thing I have against Cantlay is he's only done this twice. It's hard for me to actually put a lot of money on a guy who's only played the British Open twice. The other guys have all had experience there, but those are the ones that I'm playing, and then we'll sprinkle some top 10s and 20s in there over the time, which, of course, you'll see tomorrow in our column. Shameless plug for our column tomorrow morning on ESPN Chalk.
There you go. Guys, thank you so much, Trey. Always great having you on the show. We appreciate your time so much. David, you as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
I got to find a drink. We'll see you guys later.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I mean, are you guys, have you taken a look at the odds and taken a look at some of the guys that are down there that are like 100-1, 300-1? I'm going to throw out some names for you. Curious if these are guys that tickle your fancy, or you've said, Herbert. Is it? I want to say Kamer, but it's Keimer, right?
Keimer.
And Armitage.
Martin Keimer.
Armitage. Any of those three guys? Any of those guys?
Martin Keimer.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all of them, for sure.
You like him, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think he got in on the COVID dropout list, right?
Yeah. Decky, Zach Johnson, Matt Wolff. Well, Matt Wolff doesn't have COVID for whatever reason. He pulled out as well. But there are quite a few guys now.
Right. Here's the thing with Martin Keimer. Like, when Martin Keimer plays real well, he's like an A game player. He came in second in the BMW. I think he came like top 5 at the Australian Open. So it's like feast or famine with him. It's either like you get that Martin Keimer, or you get like, you know, start the car, we're leaving after Friday, Martin Keimer.
Right.
So, listen, he's top 30 finish for Martin Keimer. Okay.
All right. Let's pick up where we left off, and let's go to Christina. John and I have already shared who we think is going to try to win. I mean, we listened to Trey Wingo. It's like, I don't know. Should we have made picks anyway? But Christina, let's go to you. Who do you like? And give us your monkey knife fight picks as well.
I think I agree. I think we all agree. I think the Open is going to be really hard. I mean, I no one mentioned JT. No one's talked about him. I have him on here, but on my monkey knife fight, but he played really well. You know, he was up on the top of the leaderboard over in Scotland. So I really enjoyed watching the Scottish Open because there was just so many players there that you were just getting a vibe. I mean, Willie Z, he finished 10 under and Scottish. So I know he's not in any of your picks this week, but it was just really cool to see some of these players over there and playing it out in the Scottish Open. But, I'm struggling too. I know Rahm, I have to always put money on Rahm because I just think he's just such a great storyline. If he can win back-to-back majors, such a great story for 2021. Brooks Koepka, listen, the guy's played his early career in Europe. This is kind of his, he got his start over in on those, European courses. So I think he definitely has an advantage in addition to all the other things going in his favor. But gosh, I hate putting enough. I don't know. I'm going to go. Gosh, I'm still not sure. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you who my sleeper is.
Can we go to a commercial break? So I'm
just going to pick a sleeper pick. This is who
the whole field are sleeper picks.
No. Wait, you're ready? Ready? Hear me out on this. I think I'm going to pick Ian Poulter again because there is something about this dude this year that is like, he just keeps showing up. He's coming off a strong finish at the Scottish Open. He finished T4, right? One back off the lead. This is going to be his 15th Open. He hasn't missed a cut since the Honda, which was before the Masters, where he finished T26. you know, he's been in the mix lately. And, you know, he's an extremely, I think, an underrated player. I mean, we talk about some of these best players in the world. We just never really talk about Poulter. So I don't know. I think there's just no championship in the world that Poult would love to win than the Open. And I think once he wins the Open, he actually might just retire from golf. But I like Ian Poulter. I also kind of like Lee Westwood. And I can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
Watch. You know what's going to happen, John? He's going to freaking win.
I know. He'll win, and we'll be like, "Oh, Christina fucking picked it right again."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
You're smart. We're dumb. You're cool. We're not.
No. Listen. I do. Rahm, I think he's got it. I think he's there. I think Rahm, Koepka. I think Rory is going to turn it around this week. I think, you know, I know he missed the cut last week at the Scottish Open. Again, I know, but you know, he contended, you know, at the Scottish Open when he won, you know, back in 2014. He played well in Scottish and then turned it around and won the Open the next week. So, I mean, listen to me. You know, we're not seeing the best of Rory. I just think we're going to have a Louis, Rory, Koepka, Rahm top 5-ish, and then throw in Victor Hovland, who just won his European champion, you know, an event 2 weeks ago. And I think Ian Poulter. I think those are my top 5s. Boom.
Okay. Wow, that's like a sick. Right. You should bet that 5-way parlay and like
there I am.
Millionaire.
Is that a thing?
Yes. It says Christina's. It says the graphic says Christina's DFS picks, but it's monkey knife fight picks. Just FYI.
Yeah.
All right. Really quick. Again, if you've got any questions or comments, post them on our message board. Brett's gonna pop on in just a hot second, but I just want to give you. What are you guys gonna do about the tee times? Because I'm going to share some tee times with you, and I want to know what you're going to be doing around this time. So at 2:52 a.m., Casey, Answer, and your guy, Poulter, are going to be teeing off, Christina. 3 a.m., Brooks Koepka, Kokrak, Higo. 4:25, Spieth, Bryson, and Brandon Grace. That. I'm setting my alarm for that. That's a foursome I want to watch. 5 a.m., Lowry, Rahm and Louis O. 5:20, DJ, Willie Z, and Justin Rose. And then the later tee times at 10 a.m., Schauffele, Ricky Fowler, which, by the way, we haven't talked about.
It's okay. We don't have
to it's totally cool if we don't talk about it.
We can just swipe left and just move on.
I actually think Ricky's going to do well this week. Ricky Fowler, and then at 10:20, you've got Rory, Reed, and Cam Smith. Just to kind of give you an idea of some of the tee times that have some of the top names. But again, are you guys? I'm just curious. Like, are you setting your alarm for 7:40? I'm sorry. Are you setting your alarm at 2:45 a.m. to watch Casey, Answer, and Poulter play?
No, I'm setting my DVR to record it, and then I will watch it when I wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I can't wake up that early.
You wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I do. I know. I do nothing. I don't do anything.
Your day is gone by then.
So are you an adult?
Wait, what time do you guys get up?
I get up at like
5:30, 6 o'clock?
Yeah, 5:30 a.m.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
That's another conversation because I'm thinking, wait, I get up and like 6:30 is like, okay, this is I'm getting up too early to do anything. You guys get up that early? Oh my God. This is a new thing for me because I used to not get up this early. I thought it was like early. So anyway, to answer your question, you let me know how the tournament's going when I wake up at 7:30. Don't you feel if you at least don't wake up by 6:30, don't you feel your day is blown? My day is blown.
Yeah.
My day is blown.
Even as a kid, like in like summer vacations, like my parents were like, get up. You're going to see, you can't sleep your whole summer away. Get up.
Oh my gosh. No, I'll get up at 6:30-ish is like the earliest, but I'm a night owl. I'll be up tonight until pretty late. So, but I'll catch the Open maybe when it's starting because I'll be just going to bed. Who knows? All right. But I'll definitely DVR it.
All right, guys, before we bring Brett in with the questions, thoughts on the Ryder Cup. One of the big news storylines today was Brooks Koepka said, you know what, I'm gonna put my beef with Bryson DeChambeau on the shelf for the Ryder Cup. I'm going to take one for the team. The team is bigger than whatever beef they have. Are you buying? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that bullshit. I'm not buying it.
That interview today was the most ridiculous between his and Bryson's interview. And they were talking about that. Like, Bryson is like this little puppy dog. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We're all good. Yeah, everything's great. And Koepka's like, yeah, we pretty much hate each other, but, you know, we're definitely it's like 2 different conversations.
John, what are you buying? Are you buying that?
No, I'm calling bullshit on it. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, it was fun when I first started and it was kind of gained a little bit of momentum, but now like, oh great, you're gonna put your beef aside so you guys can come together.
Do you think
come together?
Do you think Stricker? Do you think that what? You think he purposely he does not put them together? No. Okay.
Koepka even said that in the interview. He's like, yeah, we're not going to be. We won't be paired together. Like he was just putting it out there. Like, yeah, don't worry, we'll never be played together, paired together. So it's such a distraction, man. It's such a distraction.
Which at the end of the day is just such a shame. It's just such a shame.
Right.
It is.
Protein. It's like oil and vinegar. Like protein mix and creatine. They don't mix. So you can't put these guys together.
Oh, really quick. Did you guys watch the match?
Yes, I actually did. I can't believe it. It actually was entertaining.
What the only entertaining part of it was the golf course.
It was the most beautiful golf course I've ever seen in my entire life.
Did you guys hear how the number of flights that were booked to Montana? And like apparently the golf course, like their phone was ringing off the hook in regard to people calling to see if they get a tee time, like within like years in advance.
Crazy, right? That was that par 5, 777 yards.
Like you had to hit it. Like there was that one bunk you had to hit it past that bunker, then it goes like for 200 yards. It's like straight downhill.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the only one who actually had a good shot on the hole. But that was fun. And I actually enjoyed listening to Phil. And I felt like Phil, like when he was, I don't know if you noticed, like Phil at one point was like lining up Brady's ball. And I'm like, it looks like a little mama bear, like cutting up their baby's food to like, to feed the child as he's like placing the ball and lining it up. So I found it very entertaining. I'm surprised. I was like, I'm not watching, but it turned out to be.
Phil is a great trash talker.
It was really good.
But no one else is.
I know.
No one else can give it back to Phil. I mean, you need personality in this type of event.
Yeah.
Like
I couldn't stop
Bryson
looking at Tom Brady's
DeChambeau,
shirt.
it was like having a wet towel. Like, here's the cardboard cutout of Bryson DeChambeau and Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Which is the real Bryson DeChambeau?
It was. I liked him wearing a normal hat, not that
Aaron
like dipshit
Rodgers
hat.
he looks like an idiot also, by the way.
I will say this. I was ripping them for having it on a Tuesday, but it actually worked out well that it was on a Tuesday because Monday everybody was off.
Right.
I was out. I was playing golf. I was doing a bunch of stuff on Monday. I wouldn't have watched, but I watched it on Tuesday. So it was actually quite smart of them to have it on a Tuesday. All right. Without further ado, let's bring Brett in. Brett, our man, what's up? Daddy Brett.
What up?
What's up, dude?
Hey, thank you so much for getting Trey on the show, man. That's awesome. We really appreciate you.
You know, I don't have many friends in high places, but he's one of them. So
awesome. Well, let's end the show on some questions and comments. What you got?
Yeah, how do you guys like this comparison? This course for the Open Championship in today's golf environment would be the equivalent of taking Steph Curry and dropping him into the year 1990 in the NBA.
Ooh. Steph Curry or LeBron James?
I think you could go either one, right? They're both like so uniquely 2021.
Yeah,
they would be so out of place.
But
like this, here's Steph Curry. Right
yes, but Steph Curry. I'm trying to think of the word. He not embraces, but like Steph Curry anticipates contact. Steph Curry anticipates physicality. You touch LeBron with a pinky and he's flailing and he's yelling at the refs and he touched me. It's fucking basketball. Of course he's gonna touch you. Somebody
said during the Euro final this past weekend, somebody said man, if the NBA ever got to this level of flopping that they do in soccer, and I said, man, you guys haven't been watching many LeBron James games. It's already there.
Say, oh my God. Hey, Christina, who ended up winning that soccer match?
Italy.
Christina, are you there?
Viva Italia. Can you hear me? Oh.
Yeah, it was.
I actually was just in a thought there thinking about it, but yeah, go Italy. It was the first time I think I watched a soccer game.
I've never really watched a soccer match before, but got into that. It was fun.
I don't like that how they finish it with like those what are they? I don't know what the shots
penalty kicks.
Penalty kicks.
Whoa! What do you mean you don't like how they ended? That was the build.
I know it was great. It was awesome. I get it. You get 5 shots, blah blah
Christina,
blah. But
Christina, you literally just said live on air, I didn't like the thing that made the event the funnest thing to watch all weekend.
Right.
No. I get that, but
she also hates Christmas and the Easter Bunny as well.
Christina was like, I love alcohol, but I hate that it like gets you drunk. That's that's what I just heard. True.
But like in general, for this, it was awesome. It was really cool. But I like a game where it's like you gotta play and win, and I don't know. Yeah, no, it was great.
They played 120 minutes of soccer. How much more playing?
I would rather watch paint dry than watch a soccer match, but the shootout was fun.
The shootout was great. Fair. What else do you have, Brian?
So more questions about the course. There was an event earlier. I think it was a major where we talked a lot on this show about Bryson DeChambeau and was his game suit. Was he going to? I think it was the Masters. I could be wrong. Was he going to try to overpower the course, and how would he fare? Does this major set up similar questions for today's players? Is this a simple thing? Are players going to try to outmuscle the environment they're in rather than adapt to the conditions they're forced to play under?
Yeah, I think some of them will, and I don't think they're going to have good outcomes if they try that. I think like we said before, you have to kind of let the course dictate how you're going to play your shot. What we didn't mention, and Trey and Dave were talking about the way the golf course is kind of undulating and kind of meanders through the dune land, is on the outskirts of the fairways is unbelievable fescue, like up to your knee fescue grass. And guys like DeChambeau, and we say this all the time, the longer hitters tend to spray it a little bit. So that fescue comes into play. You could hit great shots and end up in horrible spaces. So I think it's very similar to the Masters, where you can't try to power the golf course. You play your shots from here to here to here and try to make a putt.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make the cut this weekend.
He's missed the 3 times that he's played in an Open. He's missed the cut twice, and I'm with you. I think
maybe it was his caddy. Now he's got a new caddy.
That's another thing. He's got a new caddy. That's good. There's going to be some learning pains there, and I think his grip it and rip it style is not going to bode well. He's probably going to end up in a lot of these bunkers where it's like, "Hi, I'm John Mascari." Right.
Or I'm coming out sideways.
Final question for me, guys, was actually about the match, but not the match itself. The thing that makes the match compelling is the players being mic'd up, and we can hear them, not just the banter, but I believe last year, we saw Phil coaching Brady on putts and how to read the greens and stuff. Is this something the PGA should look into doing for the majors moving forward?
Miking them?
Yes.
Miking the major? I like when players are mic'd. I think it's kind of cool, but it gets players into too much trouble, and I think I don't like the live mic on them.
Christina hates fun. That's the thing here. Christina hates fun.
I am such a Debbie Downer on a fun sport.
I will say this. I think golf is so mental. It's such a huge mental component, and if a golfer is mic'd and he has to worry about that he's mic'd and what he can and cannot say, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't like. I think, and then also another thing, and John, agree or disagree with this, but I want to see their heartbeat. I don't want a golfer. I don't want another golfer to know what club I'm using. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be sitting there.
My thought process.
I'm going to be sitting there and talking about my shot process with my caddy and that errors, I don't want another golfer to have that information.
Is that a competitive advantage? Like, if every golfer is playing the course, like, it doesn't matter if your competitor knows how you're going to attack a hole.
Yeah, and I can actually add to this because I've had conversations with some pros, and we'll talk about certain elements like getting prepped. A lot of players will just talk about like what they do, what they've talked about, but there are a lot of players who hold that very close to them. Like, they don't share a lot of information about what they're doing, what their thought process, what their swing process is, and the things that make them tick. I mean, you got Bryson out there and people who just really put a lot of stuff out there, but there are a lot of players who don't want to share that stuff. And that's kind of like their intel, and that's their competitive advantage. So I think that having them mic'd I think it's super entertaining for sure. I love hearing them like go through the thought process of like what clubs to hit and what where their target is. I think it's super interesting as a golfer, but I think just for regular tournament play as a professional, I would not want to be mic'd up. I'd want to be able to have that.
Is there an avenue to do it the way NFL does it with NFL films, right? So like the players are mic'd up during the game, you don't hear it, and then they go into post-production and edit it and come up with like, like for the Dolphins, like James Baker, they had him like calling for his mom, from the sideline, right? Like funny, cute things. Is that something the PGA could do? Yeah. Again, we talk about how do we keep bringing the PGA and other sports, baseball in particular, into the 21st century? Are these ways in which we can do that?
They do have mics on the golf course. They even have those clear kind of dome shields that you see on the NFL sidelines. The guys will hold them up and point towards the play. They do have that, and you'll see videos of guys that will talk and have fun and chit chat. But frankly, the content isn't really there, Brett. There's a lot of guys that are just duds, and they don't say much, and they don't, they're kind of ultra focused in where they are in the moment. Yeah. They
don't want to talk.
It's just not good content, unfortunately. But I love listening to Phil walk through the shots. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I'm going to hit this chip. I'm going to kind of hit it right on that plateau, and it's going to run about 6 feet. And you think
so fun.
This is how these guys think.
Yeah,
the normal golfer is like, I'm just going to get this. I'm just trying to get it up over here and get it on the green.
But they're not going to do that during a tournament. Yeah.
My thought process.
Right.
Yeah.
My thought process is always like, I'm going to get the ball into the air, and then like, I'm good. I was successful on that swing. But guys, that is going to do it for me for this show. But you guys carry on, and I'll see you on the other side.
Brett, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. Just to recap again, for me, I've got Brooks Koepka winning this damn thing. Rahm top 10, Louis O top 20, McIntyre top 30, Brandon Grace top 40. My matchup, I love Fitzpatrick over Bryson DeChambeau in regard to the tournament matchup. Those are some of my plays. And by the way, if you missed any portion of the show, it will live on all our social media platforms, PFN 365, mine, Anita Marks, John Mascari, Christina Thompson, also our YouTube channels. And so go back and you can watch it in its entirety. Again, Trey Wingo joined us a little bit earlier, along with David Bearman, who oversees all our gambling content on ESPN. So if you missed any portion of the show, by all means, go back and watch it. John, again, recap. Who do you like and why?
I like John Rahm for obvious reasons. I like Paul Casey as well. Top 5 guys like Louis, like you mentioned, Victor Hovland, Christian Bezuidenhout as a top 10 finisher. I love Brandon Grace as well, and Corey Connors as a top 20. And I dropped that little dime of Martin Keimer possibly in a top 30. So there you go.
Christina?
I like Rahm. I like all the same picks we all pick, but I'm just gonna go out there and throw an Ian Poulter.
Okay.
Put it out there.
And you know what? Chances are, at the end of the day, as much as we sit here and we're making fun of you, you're probably gonna be spot on. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Great to see you guys. PFN 365. We appreciate you so much for giving us this platform. Thank you so much, everybody. High five. Everybody enjoy the tournament. And we'll be back next Tuesday night right here on PFN 365. And again, on all our social media platforms. Enjoy.